Greetings, everyone. Greetings. No, seasons greetings. Actually, it's about the holiday time. So seasons greetings. Never mind. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy DJ to the Bizzle. D Bizzle. No, it don't work. No, that's cool. I just stick with DJ Bill. That's fine. That's fine with me. Okay. If you don't know where you are tuning in to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. Whoop whoop. Yeah, Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. Right now, as we speak, right now. Okay, and we're talking TNA Impact for I don't know the date, 11/19/2014. TNA Impact for this day. Unless you're watching this late, then not this day. Okay, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I am DJ Bill at Beastmode13100. Feel free to follow me on Twitter if you'd like. Casey, go ahead and introduce yourself, and I will be right back. Actually,
that was a pretty epic introduction there. I don't know if I can follow that. I'll try though. I'm Casey. I am well, this week I'm one half of the amazing co-host that you will see on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. We do normally have a third host. I'm not going to give you the fraction because I can't do math, and I'm not going to do math right now because I had work all night and I'm not going to think. So, 3/4, I don't know, 2/3, some, but he's not here because he doesn't love us because he thinks I don't even know what he's doing right now. He's probably in Vegas, losing money and starting a drug habit.
And then turning into a Chippendales dancer.
Maybe I can see him doing that. But I'm Casey. Follow me on the Twitter. It's right there. You'll get some cool content on there too. We like to entertain on all cylinders. What's yeah. So let's just get into this.
Let's get into it then. So we start off with a nice little video package. Note, we are talking about 11/19, just so you know, just to, clue you in, because you may have missed the first piece. But if you did, that's okay. We come in with a video package like we always do. We always get a video package, reviewing what's going down, especially the main feud. So to begin the show, we get a video package basically on Money, Power, Respect, and Rude. Kind of like a big feud there with Lashley and MVP not really feeling each other anymore, and then obviously Lashley Rude coming up soon. Actually going to come up in during the first show of January, I'm pretty sure. I actually read that on Twitter tonight, so there you go. I'm getting excited for that. So, after this video package, we get a Bobby Roode promo. Bobby Roode is the current TNA World Champion, if you don't know. And we got a nice little promo from him. He's like, you know what, I have this true friend. I have a true friend, and that's EY, and I also have a guy I respect, and that's Austin Aries. I guess, he has a friend and a guy he respects. I guess Austin Aries really isn't a friend to him, I guess. But anyway, that's fine. He's not really happy that Lashley has tried to end the careers of EY and Aries. He doesn't like that. He's not a fan. And he says, you know what, it's not about the belt. I just want to fight, okay? In his really intense voice that I can't really do right now. And then, he's like, you know what? No ref, no rules. Get out here now. Pretty much. So Lashley comes out, and Rude meets him halfway up the ramp. And, they get into this little scuffle, this brawl, this altercation and all. And, Lashley goes and throws Rude into the wall. And then Rude, Lashley goes for a chair shot. He actually misses that chair shot. Then security comes in and does the whole breakup sequence that, one of the main things in wrestling for probably forever, especially, for a nice little while. So what'd you think of this opening Bobby Roode TNA World Champion promo?
I saw bits and pieces of it. It's kind of one of their typical either opening segments. Both TNA and TNA doesn't do it as much as WWE does it. Every Monday you're gonna open with a video package and a promo in the ring. TNA doesn't always do that, but they do it enough. Um, the one thing I don't like is, back in like, I hate to always go back to the Attitude Era references, but back then, they would have these, just fights, and security didn't always come out to break it up. They would have like no holds barred fight, where it's not like a wrestling match. It's just two guys duking it out. And obviously it's still professional wrestling. It's still they're not actually fighting whatever. But I feel like anymore in professional wrestling they always do, like let them fight for like 5 minutes and then security comes out. Like it's so predictable. It's gonna happen, and it kind of, at least for me, kind of ruins it because I want to see the big fight where they fight out in the crowd and they fight in the backstage, and it was interesting and kind of fun back in like the Attitude Era when you would have, and I know we're talking about TNA. I know, but like back in the day, you'd have guys like Al Snow and like Mankind, and when they would fight in the backstage, you were always waiting to see, what are they gonna grab and use on their opponent, because they would always like find the craziest thing to use on their opponent, which was one of the fun parts, the unpredictability of it. And it's so predictable, It's almost you can count down until security comes out. You're like, okay, 5 minutes, 4, 3, 2, there we go. I just think they should kind of change that a little bit. But I didn't have too much of a problem with this opening segment. It told, if you missed last week or whatever, it basically filled you in on what happened, which is, I think, what a promo like that should do.
Yeah, I agree with you to a point on that. The whole security breaking up, it does make it predictable. But from what I've seen with the way they're building Kurt Angle as the executive, the guy that's doing the wrestling stuff and stuff like that, he seems to be one of those guys that's like, unless it's designed that way, I want everything to be resolved in the ring. So it does make logical sense for what they're doing with him. That's really the only thing about that. But I would like to see them venture into the backstage a little bit more. That would be kind of cool, especially with the brawl type of stuff where there is no referee. There is nothing like that.
Yeah.
But then after that, we got an EC3 backstage segment, which basically he was challenging Spud. I don't know if it was to a match or what, but he did say he wanted Spud to be a man. And I think it was more of a fight, one of those, another type of scuffle type of thing, that seemed to be what they were going for here, is just another, I don't like you, you don't like me, let's go at it, That seems like that was what was going down. And then I think this was after a commercial before they come back on. They're like, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We're taking next week off for Thanksgiving or whatever. And I'll get into that at the end of the show. There's just a portion I don't really understand about that. And I'll get into that at the end of the show because there was more details revealed at the end of the show, and we'll keep it in order. So after that, we got a video package promoting the Knockouts title match that was going to be going on tonight. We would have a three-way match, and Gail Kim, Taryn Terrell, and Havoc. So we're going to have that match, coming up actually next. And it was just, basically telling the story of what was going down with the promo. I mean, what was going down with the whole feud, and Havoc being, who Havoc is, and why this match came about. You got anything about that? That stuff right there, the EC3 backstage segment, the TNA Thanksgiving taking a week off, and the Knockout title.
Yeah, I saw the TNA taking a week off, which confused me because, I mean, I always remember, back when SmackDown was on Thursday nights, they would have it, even during Thanksgiving. And I think I remember TNA always having it during Thanksgiving.
Didn't
So
didn't they have some kind of like taco bowl or something? Cause I swear that it was like if you lose this certain match, you had to wear a turkey suit or something.
yeah,
It was like
yeah,
just
they
last year.
every year they do that every year, and I don't know if it's something with Spike TV where they're because I mean Spike TV maybe having a Thanksgiving special, and it Spike or TNA just got booted from their spot for that week. I don't know, um, but it kind of I don't want to have to wait 2 weeks to see um, TNA again because uh, TNA like especially with newer fans because TNA we've talked about this a lot how TNA is still to a lot of fans more of a unknown, and if you're getting new fans in and then you take a week off, you're gonna lose those fans' interest. I mean, it's just that easy to lose fans' interest. Uh, but we'll see what happens with that. I'm still actually I'm at a point. I have TNA on right now. I didn't get to the actual end, so I'll have to tell whatever you have to tell at the end of the video on what happened with that. I don't know all the details. You know more than I do about that, but um, I, as far as the backstage promo with EC3 and Spud, don't really have anything to say about that, except for Spud's suit again was awesome. We'll get to that though, and we'll also get to a point that DJ and I made on the video the other day about EC3 and Tyrus. Little irony. Well, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, we will. Um, and actually, if you guys stay tuned to until the end of the video, or if you're watching the video after the fact, you can just skip ahead. But stay tuned and watch the whole thing. You get a little treat at the end. I actually have some news. You guys may actually know it, but if you don't, got some news about Spike TV and TNA, the future of what's going down. So, Casey, remind me to tell them about that because I may forget. But
Well, I'll remind you because I want to know too. I don't know. I don't know.
okay, so next we got the Knockouts title match, and this one actually surprised me a little bit, but you don't know why it surprised me, so I'm not gonna get into that yet. So coming into this, I was actually pretty excited because I was like, okay, Terrence Terrell, good talent. Gail Kim, good talent. Havoc, I'm in love. I do like Havoc. What she does in that ring and everything like that. I like that. So I was excited going in. Gail Kim comes out. She's still selling the shoulder, which I am in love with every step of the way. She's still selling still, she's still selling a shoulder injury. And that's a cool thing. I do like that. Even though it's like weeks and weeks ago, like that shows you how powerful Havoc can be on that. With that hammerlock slam she typically does. At the beginning of this match, they were going for the typical double team against and I hate to say this, but the stronger girl, okay? Double team, against the stronger girl. They're going trying to take her down. The dominant champion. They're trying to get the double teams going. I don't know if you agree with me, but I felt like Taryn Terrell looked a little confused on what was going on at the beginning of this match. It seemed like she wasn't really ready. There was some spots that were supposed to be hit at the same time that Terrence Terrell was a little bit late on. I don't know if you agree with me on that or not.
I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of Terrence Terrell. I just don't think she's a good talent, but I don't think she's as good as she should be. I think she's still kind of rusty in the ring. She's obviously not as good as like Gail Kim, things like that.
Angelina Love and don't don't take that one. Don't take that one seriously. I mean, Angelina Love is the longest has the most amount of reigns. So I don't know. Maybe she is the best. I mean, out.
I used to like Angelina Love. I think she used to be good. You know, not so much anymore, but you know, in my opinion, she used to be good.
Yeah, I think her stepping away really did change her. But
Yeah,
I don't want to get too much on Angelina Love. After I kind of felt like Terrence Rowe was getting confused, I think she kind of got into it a little bit more. After that, we got a bear hug into I guess it was a bear hug slam. It was basically just a power slam. It was the hammerlock slam without the actual arm lock on it by Havoc. So it was just basically what she does. That's what she does. Um, then you get the octopus submission by Gail Kim, and then Taryn Terrell actually hooks the leg. I can't for the life of me remember what that submission is called. But usually, you hook the leg, get the head, that dual submission. But obviously, with the octopus submission on her, she couldn't really do it. But I actually thought it looked kind of weird, just like she had the leg and she was just doing a bridge, and I was like, you're just showing off, darn it, quit that. But after that, Taryn Terrell gets caught as she tries to go for a crossbody. Well, as she's in the arms of Havoc, Gail Kim comes in with a crossbody of her own and knocks them both down. Taryn Terrell comes tries to get a roll up in when they got back in the ring. Try to get a roll up in, and then she attempts a backslide on Gail Kim, and that doesn't work. Gail Kim's not having it. Inside cradle by Gail Kim for a near fall. We had a float over, the little float over neck breaker that Taryn Terrell does. And then, they found their way back outside the ring again, and we had an electric chair drop, basically where she drops them forward and right on to the upper body area of Taryn Terrell on the guardrail. Thought that looks pretty painful. I don't think it looked as good as the steps, the one on the steps did, but it looks pretty painful nonetheless. Then we had a front slam by Gail Kim onto the outside, and this was the like I was saying, the hammerlock slam without the actual hammerlock. It was being called just a front slam basically. Then Havoc goes for the splash, and both of them are laying side by side. This is Gail Kim and Terrence Terrell laying side by side. Havoc goes for a splash, and didn't really look as good as it probably should have. Gail Kim hits a leg drop on Havoc, who's hanging from the top rope, kind of similar to an RVD type of leg drop, except she didn't do the whole spinning thing that RVD does. Then we get a like Tower of Doom type of thing that TNA is really famous for this spot. I feel like it's been we've seen it a whole lot, especially recently with the whole Gail Kim was on the top turnbuckle. Terrell goes for the superplex. Then she gets caught by Havoc, who does the power bomb. That whole tower type of spot there. Havoc goes again for the splash. She actually misses the splash, but then she recovers and attempts a Harlot Slayer, the choke slam she does, and that gets reversed. She does a drop toe hold by Taryn Terrell that leads to a DDT by Gail Kim. I thought this was a very nice little kind of like a tag team type of spot. I thought that was a very nice little spot they did. Then you got the crossbody by both Garen. I'm freaking mixing names at this point. By Taryn Terrell, and then Gail Kim, hits hers. Well, vice versa. Kim hit hers first, then Terrell hits hers. Then we get Eat the Feet by Gail Kim. We get I don't even know what Terrell's cutter is called, but I'm gonna call it the T cutter. We get that little cutter by her. Terrell goes for the pin. Gail Kim reverses that into a pin of her own, and then Terrell reverses that into another pin. It was kind of like the whole WWE 2K14 spot where you just reverse pins back and forth. It was like that, and Terrell actually wins off of that. And usually I would be livid, like I would be just foaming at the mouth, looking like I had rabies or something. No, I'd be upset though. But I wasn't really as upset as I maybe usually am about stuff like that. And I guess because it was like it gave that shocking feeling to me. I guess that's what it was. It was unpredictable. I didn't expect Havoc to lose this early for once. I mean, for one, and then for her to lose that way, I was like, oh, intriguing. So I don't. I guess Taryn Terrell kind of deserves it, especially for the matches she's had in the past. I take it she kind of deserves it. Overall, I thought it was an over. It was an okay match. I thought it was a little sloppy though. I really did, especially at certain points. So, what do you think? That was a lot.
I, when you just explain it, it sounds so much better than it really was. I didn't think it was that great of a match. I know what you mean. A lot of it kind of looks sloppy, and Um, I don't know if it was just miscommunication or nerves or whatever. But it was an okay match. I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I don't necessarily think that I agree that with Taryn Terrell being the champion right now. I mean, yeah, she's had some good matches, but I just don't know if she's. I don't want to. I don't want to be gimmicky and say I don't know if she has it, but I don't really know. I don't remember really seeing too much like mic skills with her. And I feel like that's something, if you're going to be a champion, that's something you need to have, at least to an extent. Um, I just don't think we've seen enough of her to really, um, give her the title right now. Not to say that she doesn't ever deserve it, but um, but then again, they don't really have that many other you know knockouts that they could have given the belt to. I mean, they could give it to Brittany. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, woo! I she can be my knockouts champion any day. Anyway, I'm sorry. Wait, she's your girl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. Oh, I forgot. You and I had our matches today. I was going up against John Cena, and you were going against Samuel Shaw. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that's why Shaw wasn't on TNA tonight. We were supposed to have this match.
Yeah, but one thing I want somebody to do this. If anyone's watching this and you like either record TNA on DVR or go onto like YouTube or whatever, try to find this match or any other knockouts match, and it doesn't really matter. Put a blindfold on and just watch the match like that. All you hear is eh, 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 eh. Like if you didn't know better, you're like, what the hell is going on right now? I like It's just something I noticed for tonight. I was like, there's a lot of moaning and screaming, and I don't I don't know if I like this. That's just one person do that for me, please, and just see if you agree. Um, but no, I'm not gonna say it was the worst knockouts match I've ever seen, because I've seen a lot worse. Um, and Divas matches in WWE, you see a lot worse than there. But could have been better. Could have been a little bit more crisp. I'm surprised it wasn't because we had Gail Kim in there, and she's always really good in the ring. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, where's he going? I don't know what he's doing. I'm not sure I know what's going on. Something about Gail Kim, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry for this save catastrophe because my computer was on 10%. And
Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell? What's going on? But yeah, we can move on now.
all right. As far as Taryn Terrell goes, just one more point. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do with her because I didn't expect Havoc to lose this early. But I guess they were kind of doing. They didn't want to repeat themselves too much with the dominant champion. They just did it with Lashley. They don't want to do it again with Havoc. It seems like they're just repeating themselves again. So I guess that's what they were trying to avoid here. But after this match, after the knockouts title match, we had Kenny King and MVP. They were talking backstage, and MVP says, we've ran things, and I'm good with that. I'm fine with the way we ran things. It was cool. I don't think he really said that. I think I wrote that. I miswrote that, but that's okay. And he says, I'm not. Basically, he was okay with the way things were going when he was running things. He's not really okay with a lot of other things going on right now. He's going to remind the main thing was he's going to remind everyone who MVP is. And then after that, we got a Rude backstage segment where Rude, he says he's not taking this from Lashley. He's challenging. He says, "I'm challenging you." Um, the rematch is set, which you guys will probably already know because I think I told you guys earlier. But the rematch is set, but the fight has just begun. So what'd you think of the MVP Kenny King backstage segment? Anything in particular, or the Rude backstage segment?
I didn't really watch the Kenny King backstage segment. I don't know what it is, but anytime Kenny King is on, I kind of zone out. I don't not not no offense to any Kenny King fans. I mean, he's just not. I'm just not really into him. Um, I don't know why. I just kind of zone out when he is on. But um, I'm also kind of getting bored with the Kenny King MVP thing. I think they should finally break them up. Or I'm kind of confused as to why. Not to get too far ahead, but why is you know um, Bobby Roode or Lashley always attacking other people and yelling Bobby or yelling Roode? Because if you think about it, the one that he should be mad at and the one that he should have a feud with right now is MVP, because MVP is the one who said I should get the title shot right now. So it's kind of like it feels like TNA started something and completely forgot what they're doing, and they're like, no, let's keep him going at Rude. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I wish they would. You know, I'm not. I don't want to tell you guys when it's set because I don't think I've told you guys when the match is actually set yet. So I'm gonna wait on that. But the match is set and it's set for pretty soon. I don't know why because I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the year, sometime in January, they're gonna have a pay-per-view. So my question is, why didn't they kind of push this Rude Lashley thing off for a second? Put put MVP and Lashley in a feud so that they're feuding for the number one contender spot because that's what they both want. And then at the pay-per-view, we have a freaking great match with probably Lashley and Rude. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and I think they should have a number one contenders feud between the two. It would make a lot more sense, you know. Um, unless I mean, MVP still could be hurt to a point. I don't know. I don't go on all like the dirt sheets and uh, see all the medical reports or whatever. But it just doesn't make sense to me. But I guess we can move on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, and that'll probably be brought back up again in a couple of weeks, especially seeing however this plays out. But after that, we had a Kenny King versus Chris Melendez match. I don't know why, but I like Kenny King's theme. It's a good dancing song, and I can't dance, so it's a good song. Uh, so Kenny King, crossing lines. I feel like, crossing lines, just pulls up his shorts and pulls down his knee pad, points at his leg, basically talking about like I have a real leg. I was like, okay, all right, Kenny King pushing limits there. And the Sarge hits a couple of hip tosses. Anytime I call Chris Melendez the Sarge, I kind of think of Sergeant Slaughter, and I don't really want to, but that's what they called him too. So it gets a couple of hip tosses in, which Taz lets us know that that takes a lot of core strength. So with that one leg, that's really really powerful of him. Um, I love how Kenny King plays to the camera. When he wrestles, I think more heels should do that. They should just like look at the camera and just talk to it. I kind of like that. I think that was a popular heel. I can't remember who it was, but he used to do it too. I think it was in WWE not too a while back. I can't remember off the top of my head. I may be lying, but I can't remember. And then after that we got Chris Melendez hits the kick with the prosthetic leg. He actually used the prosthetic leg a couple times here, and you would think that the prosthetic leg would make it more stiff. If you think about it, I would think I think that would be the pro to using the prosthetic leg. I would think. Um, then we get a fisherman into a bridge, which is I think it maybe Chris Melendez's finisher. I'm not really sure what his finisher is at this point, but I know he does that move and he's beating one or two guys with that move. The Sarge hits the player's boot with the prosthetic leg again, and the commentators are really pumping up that he's hitting it with the prosthetic leg. Then MVP out of nowhere attacks Chris Melendez with a steel chair. And he almost hits Kenny King with the steel chair with his out of control antics, and he pushes Kenny King away. So they're obviously doing some dissension here between the entire Money Power Respects stable, and then Mr. Anderson comes out way, way, way too late. Um, and I think I wrote this in the wrong order, but that's okay. Um, Kenny King was actually the MVP was attacking the Sarge's right leg, the leg that's not the actual prosthetic leg. He was actually attacking that leg, so he couldn't it would be hard for him to walk at all. So, I mean, what do you think about the Kenny King Chris Melendez match, which is a match I think we've seen? Seems like we've seen a lot. It's weird because it seems like we get feuds and we don't really get a payoff because of the lack of pay per views we get with TNA. So, what do you
Yeah.
think of this match?
Um, I thought it was an okay match. Um, and I will give. I don't like Kenny King, but I'll give him credit. He is a good heel. He definitely knows how to get heat. He knows how to maybe cross the line. But he definitely gets the heat. There's just something about this feud. Maybe it's because I'm pretty sure we're not going to get a payoff to it or anything because of the lack of pay-per-views that they have. But something about it just doesn't feel solid. Like it doesn't feel, solidified as a feud. It just kind of, I don't know, something about it just doesn't, feel right to me. It almost feels like they kind of just threw it together um, and decided to go with it. Um, but not to say that it's not gonna turn out well because we've seen guys that have been given bad storylines manage to make them work well in both TNA and WWE. So they could turn it around and make it a really good storyline. I'm just worried that we're not gonna get like you were saying that payoff, where they're just gonna kind of randomly end the feud and we're gonna be like, dude, what happened? Which TNA does a lot, I feel like. They'll start a feud, they'll keep it going for a couple weeks and then just stop, um, and not just feuds, but storylines too. Um, hence the MVP and Bobby Lashley kind of started that one week and then nah. um, but I mean, I want to like this feud because I like the Sarge. I think just the fact that he is an amputee and he's living his dream right now in professional wrestling, which a lot of people would say, being an amputee, you'd never be able to be like a professional wrestler, an athlete, or anything. What, and he's doing it, which is awesome. So from that respect, from that point, I respect him, and I really am a fan of his. I just kind of want them to give him a little bit better storyline. I don't like that they're kind of doing the stereotypical, he's a war hero, he's a soldier. I feel like wrestling does that too much. Because yes, he's a hero. He is a soldier, but he's more than that. He's not just a camouflage uniform. Um, and I feel like if they kind of get away from that, maybe we can get more of his personality and get a really interesting superstar out of him. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and that probably was the best way to bring. They're still like bringing him in slowly but surely too. So I think we could see some changes with what they're gonna do with him after a while, especially. I don't think they're gonna do the kind of like war hero um, USA versus Rusev type of thing they're doing. But after the Sarge picks up a victory here, he picked up a victory by DQ. Um, Obviously. So after that, we got a Spud backstage segment. And Spud, he has a new suit tonight. Has the brick house, smite and might. He has the
Exactly
the
what
brick
I
suit.
thought when I first saw it. I was like, he's a brat.
Like he has the brick suit on. And I thought it was incredible. I don't. Where does he get his suit? They got to be custom made or something. Like the
I
man has like the most unique suits ever.
like I they almost this one tonight looked almost like it was airbrushed. Like kind of like RVD does with his singlet. He gets them airbrushed. Um, which maybe that's what he does, but they're awesome. I want one.
But I mean, and then after we discovered this new suit, he said, well, what Mr. Carter wants, Mr. Carter will get. So, that was that was a little response to his face to face thing he's gonna do with EC3. You didn't have anything to say about the backstage thing there?
No, but TNA is getting more into the Rockstar Spud saying douchebag and kicking people in the ball. We'll get to that though. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. Okay, so that was actually the next part. We got the face to face with EC3's face, right to face with Spud's face, or something like that. They were in the ring at the same time, facing each other. Okay, now EC3, comes out, cuts a short promo. The main thing I took from it was he said he slapped Jeremy Borash so hard that his whole family died. Okay, all right. Um, it was so funny because they panned over to Jeremy Boy and she's like, "No, they didn't. They're still here." But and then he says, "Spud, do you want to fight me?" And then Spud comes out. Obviously, I think Spud was already out at this time, and Spud. He's like, Spud, I'll give you the first shot. He says, "Mr. Carter, I'm not gonna punch you in the face. I'm gonna kick you in the balls." And then he kicked him in the balls. And then my TV cut off, and I cried because I missed a little bit of this, and I was really, really upset. So, what happened after that? Like, I know he kicked him. I know about the cutting of the locks and stuff. What happened after that, though? After the kicking of the
He,
handbag?
he kicked. Yes, that is my favorite term for that region of the body now. Yam bags. I'm just gonna use that all the time. After he kicked him in the yam bags, he he started punching him a lot, like that kind of little. little House of Fury we got here. I was surprised that Tyrus didn't come in to break it up like automatically because that's usually what happens, you know.
Yeah, EC3 told him to stay outside the ring, from what I heard.
Yeah. Um, but so Rockstar Spud got some offense in there. Um, finally, EC3 turned it around, and uh, he he had Rockstar. I forgot how he kind of beat him down to the point where he
Yeah,
was like,
Tyrus hit him with that choke slam punch move, whatever that was. Like
yeah,
he like picked him up
what
and like he lifted him up and he was like,
what the hell is that? I saw that and I was like, what? I was like, is that even a move or did he just like what? I was
I was like,
I was like, yeah, he's gonna go for a choke. What? That's not a choke slam. It was like a choke slam slap thing. I was like, they are literally trying to kill Rockstar Spud right now.
first he got thrown into out of the screen last week, and now he gets choke slam punched, and then EC3, uh, he goes to cut the hair. He's like, I'm gonna cut your mangly hair, and he cuts some of his hair. And I'm thinking, are we gonna get like a hair versus hair match maybe in the recent future? And I hope not, because I really hate hair versus hair matches more than anything, any stipulation ever. I don't know why. I just don't. It's just frustrates my life when I have to watch them because I'm like, it's not exciting for me to see someone get their hair cut off. I'm just like, okay.
I'd be okay with a hair versus hair match as long as they don't do what WWE does, where the guy never grows his freaking hair back ever again. That that annoys me so much. Kurt Angle, Big Show, now Marcus Louis, freaking hair grows back. It really does.
Public service announcement there for you guys, just so you guys know. I mean, I didn't
Except
think you
except for
guys
Vince.
might not know.
Vince's hair grew back.
The only one, the, the only one whose hair grew back. Actually, Punk's hair grew back too. CM Punk's hair grew back, so there you go. It didn't grow back as long, but
Yeah.
it grew back.
I forgot he had a hair. Yeah, because then he had that mask on for like ever.
But
Uh,
anyway, before we get off into a CM Punk tangent now, um, and then it leads to a Cena tangent, so we're gonna stay away from that. We get Kurt Angle looking for MVP, and he's like, Kenny King, where's MVP? And Kenny King's like, why do people keep asking me that? And MVP from behind attacks Kurt Angle, and he says, "You want to play games, Kurt? That's something you should have. That's something that should have been done a while ago." So MVP gets the upper hand on Kurt Angle. He attacks the director of operations, so you can't do that. Just so you know, it's not something you should be doing. I don't know if you thought if you have any comments on that.
it seems like Kurt Angle is always looking for MVP, and they're in generally small arenas. Why is he so hard to find?
It's bigger than you think. He's in the basement. He's running away. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And Kenny King never knows either. Like, just quit asking Kenny King. He never knows. Like, that's no use. It's a waste of time. Um, then we get a video package on the Bramster. We get a video package on Bram and, his coronation as being the king of hardcore. So I guess we're going to get a hardcore match with Bram whenever they can possibly fit it in there, it seems like. Next we're going to have Sabu come to the show. And we're gonna have a hardcore match with Sabu. The ropes are gonna be barbed wire ropes. So You guys get ready for that. No, we get Bram versus Dreamer in a hardcore match. Once again, we get a meeting on the ramp. Bram is sitting on the apron with his weird sitting on the apron thing he does, and Dreamer comes out with that freaking so catchy theme. I freaking love it. I think it's like a remix of his original theme. I'm in love. I love the theme. I can listen to it all the time. He comes out. Bram meets him on the ramp. He hits a power slam to Dreamer on the ramp. There's a trash can shot by Bram on Tommy Dreamer. Oh, I went too far down. And then we get an Irish whip into the post by Dreamer, making Bram's face careen off the steel post. I don't know if it's even steel anymore. They don't say much about the material as much anymore. And then Dreamer hits Bram with a fan's belt. I thought that was pretty cool. And then they go to commercial. Then as we come back to commercial, we get Bram ramming Tommy Dreamer's head into the steps, and he is Dreamer is bleeding at this point. And Bram, takes the blood and does the, typical hardcore, king of hardcore type of thing, and he, wipes it on the chest area, just like that. He wipes it on the chest. His chest, obviously, not Dreamer's chest. That wouldn't make any sense because Dreamer's wearing a shirt, okay? His chest, okay? And then we get a kendo stick Russian leg sweep, the typical vaunted Russian leg sweep by Tommy Dreamer. He crotches Bram with the chair, ow, and then he clotheslines him out of the chair. He sits Bram in the chair and he clotheslines him out of it off the top rope. Dreamer hits a drop kick into the trash can while Bram is in the tree of woe. Bram reverses into a STO. It looked like Dreamer's going for some type of takedown type of move, and I'm gonna call it STO because I like the STO. So Bram, he reverses that into the STO. Dreamer raises the boot on the attempted chair smash by Bram. It was like a splash he was going for, or maybe an elbow drop with the chair in his hand, something. He was going for that, and Dreamer, raises the boot and reverses that. Dreamer hits the Dreamer DDT to a near fall. Dreamer grabs a steel chair wrapped in barbed wire. Woo! Yeah, he grabbed the steel chair wrapped in barbed wire. That was kind of exciting. And he goes for a pile driver. If he would have hit the pile driver, I would have died immediately because that would have been just ridiculous. He goes for the pile driver onto that chair. Magnus comes in and hits his finisher, whatever. I think it was his finisher, whatever his finisher even is, because I still don't know it yet, because Magnus has been kind of irrelevant. So he hits his finisher, whatever you call that move, and the whatchamacallit, that's what we'll call it. Hits the whatchamacallit, and Bram hits Dreamer with a nice little punch. I don't. It must have been something significant about that punch. He hit him with a punch, okay. Anyway, Al Snow comes out to even the odds. Oh, yeah, Magnus was holding him up, and he hit him with a punch. Yeah, that's what it was. And then Al Snow comes out to even the odds and save Dreamer. Dreamer gets the cheese grater, and he goes to the head, just like that. He tries to grate up the head a little bit. Homemade cheese here. He grates the head of Bram. Bram's bleeding profusely, I guess you could say. Bram reverses the Death Valley driver that Dreamer was going to attempt. There was a corner prop in the chair. He's going to try to Death Valley driver him into the chair, and Bram says no. He reverses that, and he drives Dreamer's head into that chair. And Dreamer stuck to it. And anytime you stick to barbed wire, yes, that makes me cringe a little bit, and it makes me say, oh yeah, that's barbed wire right there. Just like that. So, he stuck to the barbed wire a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. Or maybe he didn't stick to the barbed wire. It looked like he stuck to the barbed wire. So, it looked like I got caught in his hair a little bit. And then we get a jumping DDT, kind of like an execution from Bram for the win. So, what'd you think about this match? There was a lot going on there. It was a pretty jam-packed match, I would say, after it got started.
First of all, I personally like Bram's kind of sitting on the ring apron thing. I still think it's unique and kind of something different that he does. One good point, we had blood in this match, and I felt like a match like this proves that, you can have blood in a match, and it's not, it's I didn't think it was that disturbing or anything like that. Like if I had obviously not kids too young, but like if I had a kid 6, 7. I wouldn't have a problem with him watching that. I didn't think it was that bad. A couple other things I wanted to. One thing I never understood is the kendo stick Russian leg sweep. What the hell does that even do? Like, it doesn't even look like it would hurt at all. It's just you're just holding the kendo stick and doing a Russian leg sweep. It makes no sense. And why?
It's extreme.
What?
It's extreme.
And
Extreme.
why is Al Snow randomly back in the? I don't under like I know he's been with TNA. He's been an agent or whatever. But it feels like they randomly pick guys that work as like agents or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you used to be a hardcore wrestler. Go out for a night and back up Tommy Dreamer or something like that."
And it's probably because Bully Ray's gone.
Yeah.
Because even when Devon was looking for people to call out, Bully Ray wasn't the first one. He would be the first one he thought of, but he wasn't the guy he brought out. So
Yeah, and I still have an issue with them, just doing this hardcore or King of Hardcore gimmick with him. I think, yeah, he could do hardcore matches, but I want to see him doing more. I want them to expand his character. I don't want to have him stuck in that just hardcore genre for his whole career, which when you do something this early in somebody's career, unfortunately that happens a lot. I mean, it happened with and there's nothing wrong with Mick Foley. I love Mick Foley, but it happened with him. You know, early in his career, he was putting a lot of the extreme matches, the hardcore matches. Same with Al Snow. And that's really all we know them for. We don't. I can't think of just a regular match that really sticks out from either of them. You know what I mean? Which is unfortunate. So I just don't want them to do that to him.
okay, yeah, I agree. I don't, I don't want him to put him because I think Bram has a lot of talent actually. And they should do something with this tag team. They have a tag team of Bragness, as I like to call them, and they're like not even a tag team. They're just two people who hang out together. It's just weird what they because they weren't even in the. I said this a couple weeks ago. They weren't even in the little series or whatever the tournament. But anyway, not to get off topic. But anyway, we got a Kurt Angle backstage segment, which I can't say backstage today for anything. But that's okay. We got Kurt Angle. He's in the stage back area, and he says if anyone puts their hands on me, like I said, I've said this, plenty of times. If anyone puts their hands on me, there will be consequences. MVP, you just dug your own grave, and I'm gonna go take care of this problem for good. So MVP is getting fired. So look out. And we got a manic backstage segment with Mahabali Shera. Still can't remember his first name off the top of my head, but Shera. He was with him, and he was like, why doesn't he like me? And he says he needs for you to awaken. So obviously talking about James Storm and talking about the joining of the Revolution. I don't know if I really expect Shera to join the Revolution though, just because I think it's gonna be some kind of weird turn they're gonna do with him. As far as a face, I don't see them bringing him in as a heel immediately. Anything about those two segments, the backstage with Kurt Angle?
I felt like we had a lot of backstage segments with Kurt Angle this week. Like it felt like every other segment was Kurt Angle backstage talking about something. As far as the I just really don't understand certain aspects of this new Revolution thing. Some of it kind of still doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense when they were trying to recruit David Richards. Them trying to recruit this new guy, which we really don't know anything about him. So it's like it doesn't make sense. If it was like somebody coming over from WWE and they were trying to recruit him, that would make sense because we would know, what they could bring to the table in the faction. This just kind of doesn't really make sense. Um, you, you know, it, but I guess we'll see what happens with it. I I I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like it was gonna be like, so the revolution was gonna be this like awakening type of thing for guys who were losing, guys who really didn't get to do much. That's what it seemed like it was gonna be, and I really don't know now. Because I mean, it does make sense with Abyss, Manic, and Sonata somewhat. Sonata didn't really make that. Well, Sonata was the main guy that made sense, but it seemed like the rest of them are kind of like losers, guys who really didn't, you know, get a chance to really do much. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do with it. I like the Revolution, but I don't really know where they're going right now with the whole Shara thing.
Yeah.
So after that, we get an X Division title match, which I thought could have been a little better than it actually was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. But I thought it was just good. It could have been great, but I thought it was just good. Um, it is Manic versus Low Key versus Tigre Uno versus DJZ. I said it felt just good. It felt like they didn't really give him enough time. Um, it felt like usually recently I know I've said a lot like this match had good time, was giving good time and stuff like that, but I this match felt a little rushed to me somewhat. It didn't seem like they gave him enough time to do everything that they would have been able to do, should have been able to do, and stuff like that. So first off, Manic, as Manic was coming out, I'm like, does this man's mask change every week? Because it was a different mask again. So I guess they're playing around with the mask, trying to figure out what's going to be the best mask for Manic. I guess that's what they're trying to do. And to start off the match, we had DJZ. A couple of spots here from this match. DJZ hits a missile dropkick on both Low Key and Manic. Manic hits a suplex. He hits a suplex, and then he goes. He does the shift where it looks like he's gonna maybe even go into the Three Amigos. He doesn't. He actually shifts into a back suplex, and I like the way he transitions into that. I think that's it's a really smooth transition he does there. DJZ sneaks in a pin here. This is actually while Manic had Tiger Uno in a surfboard submission hold, and DJZ crawls underneath the little surfboard to try to pin all these people. It's too many people. He tried to pin Manic, and low key out of nowhere hits a freaking Warrior's Way on to Manic. All three of them, basically, on all three of them. I think Tiger Uno took the brunt of the collision there, though. And then, Uno hits a twisting springboard to the outside of the ring as they, eventually got outside of the ring doing suicide dives and such. Manica got caught with a kick by Low Key on the outside of the ring as he was going for a suicide dive. Then DJZ hits the second rope DDT where he kind of slides in through the second rope and goes for a DDT. I love that move. That move looks so good. Tigre Uno hits his finisher to break up the pin. There was a pin going on in the ring. He hits that Saber 2 splash, I think he calls it, and he breaks up the pin with that. It really didn't make a lot of sense though. It looked like it took him a long time to jump down. Like it was like I mean you knew he was gonna probably do something crazy to break it up, but when he did his finisher, I was like, that took a while. That took a while to do. I don't understand that. And then Loki turns a Hurricane Rana by Tigre Uno into a Key Crusher from the top turnbuckle for the win. And you could see Loki was getting emotional during this, and I don't know if this was kind of staged or what, but it does. I love that emotion though, even if it's staged. I love that emotion because it does make it feel like the belt still means something today. So I like that. What do you think about the X Division title match?
Um, I agree with you. It could have been better. I I didn't really notice Manic's mask that much. I did notice Tigre Uno's new, ring gear. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm gonna say, I think this would have been a much better match if it was like an Ultimate X match. Because they don't even really do those at Destination X anymore that much. If they threw, and that would get a lot more viewers on if they did like an Ultimate X match on just an Impact.
Yeah, four ways are weird like that though. It's kind of like four ways need a stipulation to be good.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
you agree with that, but like four ways are just it's so many people in at the same time. It's like it's kind of like it needs a stipulation. I agree with you on Ultimate X Men. That would have been.
yeah. I think that would have been cool. Because even back early TNA, they would have them on just regular Impact shows, and they always were awesome. They were usually the best match of the night. As far as I came into this match honestly expecting Manic to win, and the Revolution to start taking all the belts. And then when Low Key won, I was happy, but I was kind of like, he's had the belt before, significantly. Um, I thought, maybe they could have given it to, Tigre Uno or, you know, DJZ or, just to give them a little bit more of a push. Um, I also think you mentioned he was very emotional at the end. Again, I don't know if that was legitimate or if it was staged. But if it was staged, I feel like not all the time, but anymore in wrestling, they kind of do the Shawn Michaels boyhood dream thing too much, where they get on their knees and they're crying with the belt and everything. That's kind of exactly what it looked like to me, just that same thing. Which I just think they do it too much when they do. But I, I guess it was an okay match. I kind of want to see what they do with Loki as the champion now. Um, Kind of just felt like, Loki and Samoa Joe are sort of not friends, but they respect each other. So let's just give, the title to Loki. It kind of it didn't feel right to me. And not to say that I'm not a fan of Loki, I am, but you know, I don't know if I would have booked it that way.
Yeah, I would have rather one of the other three guys get it. Maybe not Tiger Uno because I really don't think Tiger Uno's really earned his way to the X Division title yet. DJZ is a former champion, so it makes sense to give it to him. But where he is with the Broman and stuff, it really doesn't make sense to give it to him either. The Manic thing would have made sense, and plus Manic really deserves it, especially how bad TNA has really booked him over like the last what has it been like 5 years or whatever. Like it might not even been that long. It just feels like it. It feels like like Manic's one of the best workers in the ring and doesn't get his chance as much as the other guys do, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Manic and Tigre Uno are kind of similar. Um, I think Tigre Uno hasn't really just been given enough like TV time, in ring time to kind of show what he can do. And as far as Manic, I think he was given a really, really, shitty um, gimmick because he came in as Suicide, which is basically a video game character from the Impact video game, and he had to make that work, and to an extent he did. He had really good. He's good in the ring. It's just the gimmick was kind of dumb. And then they changed it to Manic, which didn't really do much for it. They just changed his name and changed the color scheme. It was the same exact thing. Um, and he as a wrestler is really good. His real name is, I think, T.J. Perkins. He's an awesome wrestler. If they would show more of that, I think he would do a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Revolution is opening it up for Manic to do a little bit more. Because I think they see that Manic can do more. Because Manic, as long as he's been in TNA, people don't really know about him, and it's sad. Like, it's terribly sad because he's been in TNA for, I mean, it's been a while. Um, and probably 4 or 5 years because that TNA game came out forever ago. Um,
Yeah.
and it's just it's crazy to me. Like, I don't understand how you can't put that guy in the ring. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What is it? And also, Sonata was just the X Division champion not too long ago, so I understand not wanting to give it to him, but can you give the man a chance? Like, he's a good worker too. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I feel like in the Revolution, they kind of are booking. Um, Obviously, James Storm is the leader, but I felt like they're booking Manic more as like the second in command. I I feel like Sonata, he's been seeming a little more submissive and kind of back, kind of in the background in this. I don't know if they're intentionally doing that to kind of give Manic more of a push and make him feel more powerful than um, Sonata. But that's just kind of what I got from it watching the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and plus the Sonata thing was only gonna work if they set up something between Sonata and Muda at you know Bound for Glory. It doesn't make a ton of sense anymore because it made sense for the whole I don't believe in Great Muda thing by James Storm, but it doesn't make a lot of sense for it now because there's really nowhere for them to go with Sonata in the Revolution. I don't think.
I mean, unless they have another uh, Japanese wrestler come in, and the only other really, hugely well-known um, wrestler from Japan that's come over is in WWE right now. Uh,
Yeah.
so uh, it, I think they kind of put themselves in a corner with this one where they kind of don't know what to do with it anymore. Um,
Yeah. It seems that way. But after the X Division title match, we got another backstage segment, which seemed to be a recurring thing tonight. MVP was calling Bobby Lashley. Obviously, it seems like it went to voicemail, and he's like, you know what? Forget it. If you don't, if you're not gonna show up, we need to burn this place to the ground. Just, I don't know if that's the wording you should use, but anyway, and then and he was like, if Kurt's gonna do what he thinks he's gonna do, we need to burn this place to the ground. I don't. If you think you're gonna get fired, you're gonna burn the building down. You'll probably still get fired, regardless. So, it didn't make a ton of sense. So, after that, we got Angle and MVP. Kurt Angle comes out first, and he's like, a couple of things he said. I made sure this was the best in-ring product, period. Um, MVP, he made it about himself. I made it about you guys. He just wanted the World Heavyweight Championship, basically. And you don't have to attack me from behind. Real men do their business in the ring. He's like, you know what? I'm going to contact the board of directors about your punishment. He says, I'm asking you. MVP comes out and interrupts. MVP says, look at you now. Calling your mommy to solve your problems. Or something like that. You know what I mean? Calling your mom to protect you from MVP is what he actually said. Um, Sick of this company. I'm sick of everything, says MVP. Um, I'm sick and I'm tired of you. And then he says, call them and tell on me. Okay. Maybe I should give you my phone so you can call them and so you can call him and tell him all about what I did or whatever. And he's like, Angle's like, well, New Year's coming around the corner, and I might get in trouble for this. And then he punches MVP. So out of nowhere, he just starts wailing on MVP. Kenny King comes down to help out MVP, and MVP is shoving Kenny King away as he's trying to get some shots in on Kurt Angle. A little thing I caught here: MVP had some kind of yellow writing on his pants, and I don't know what that was. I don't know if you caught that, but like it was like a red M, so kinda. I don't know what was going on with that.
I think there was like something yellow on the back too, like a. Oh, it was just weird. I was like, where the hell did you get these pants? You need to return them. This is a horrible idea.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Then he hits the blackout kick to Kurt Angle. Anderson comes out to even the odds here and attacks Kenny King. This is the two feuds kind of mixing in a little bit, with the whole, the feuds from early on and the feud from right now. Lashley comes in and hits a spear on Anderson, and then Rude comes out and he tries to he comes out and he stares down Bobby Lashley. Then he goes into the ring. We get a back and forth, Rude Lashley. We get that back and forth thing going on with them, and then Rude Lashley 3 is coming soon, and then it cuts off. Did you like the ending to the show? What'd you think about this whole segment? I did think it was kind of weird that in the middle of a brawl, just cut it out, forget it. No, you're not going to see the end. So what'd you think about that?
I don't like when wrestling companies anymore do the whole, general manager storylines and stuff like that or whatever. I think TNA ruined it back when, it was Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett. It just kind of killed it, and I want to see the wrestlers in the ring, I don't want to see so much backstage, politics kind of stuff in the storyline. Same thing. I don't like. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Authority at Survivor Series because freaking Team Cena. Anyway, but I think it's done too much. The Authority figures, it just kind of gets stale after a while. This ending segment, it kind of felt chaotic to me. I was like, what is going on? I don't know. I mean, if they're trying to blend these feuds, okay, if they do it right. But if they kind of just make it chaotic and not make sense, I'm not for it. But I mean, I guess time will tell what happens.
Yeah, and then after that, we usually get a preview to the show. Well, we get word we got this earlier that next week we're not gonna have a show. The next show is gonna be on December 3rd. I guess we're taking a week off for Thanksgiving. They're like, enjoy the holidays, whatever. Which is kind of weird, but even weirder than that. Not next week, but December 3rd, when they come back, they're gonna look at the biggest moments of the year, which doesn't make sense to me. Because instead of taking a week off, why don't you put that show on next week? So even if the people who are busy with, Thanksgiving and whatnot don't get to watch it, well, they're just missing, the biggest moments of the year. Why are we going to waste a Impact on the biggest moments of the year instead of I can't even get it out the way I want to because like it doesn't make any sense to me personally. I don't.
The problems I have with this is, first of all, isn't Impact pre-recorded? So why don't we have? It's not like the guys are missing time off with their family, when it's already pre-recorded. And plus, you already know when you're a professional wrestler, you're on the road, you're wrestling, 300 some days a year. So it's not like they're not used to, missing time with their families. But anyway, it is pre-recorded, so why don't we have Impact next week on Thanksgiving, or not even technically on Thanksgiving, it's Wednesday. What the hell? Um, and then the other thing that kind of um, confuses me is we're having the greatest matches or the greatest moments of the year on December 3rd. Why don't we have this, more towards like the end of December? Because what happens if something awesome happens, December, like, let me look at the dates here. Can't see right now. What's the next? Damn it, go back. Number. Trying to see what the next week would be. Yeah,
The
like
third.
what happens if something awesome happens the 10th or the 17th or the 24th? Or it doesn't make sense. They should have it on like the 31st. They're gonna have an impact on the 31st anyway, you know. But I guess they're. I don't know. I don't know. TNA just does something that don't make sense, and we have to deal with that.
Okay. So the big news that I didn't forget about. Um,
I'm excited.
so we got big news regarding the TV deal, the Spike negotiations, all of that. Starting January 15th, TNA will still have a TV deal, but not with Spike TV. Actually, it's with this. It's like a partner of the Discovery Channel called Destination America.
Oh,
If you look on Impact Wrestling's Twitter, you'll see stuff about it. They already started promoting it. That's when the Rude versus Bobby Lashley, the next match. That's when their match is supposed to be on that first show of the year. From that's what it seemed like they were saying. Um, I don't really know what I think about this because I don't think I get this channel, and that makes me cry a little bit. Um, I looked for the channel. I'll probably have to look again. Um, so I don't know. I know only like what sucks about this is there's a ton of people that get Spike TV. I don't know the percentages, but I do know that only 50% of people in America, or 52.1% of people in America get Destination America. So I don't know. That's probably going to bring their viewership down. Um, I don't really know. I don't think there's a lot of demand for professional wrestling on TV right now. Um, unless you're WWE, just because of where professional wrestling is right now. It's kind of in a downward spiral a little bit. And I know because if you think about it, the majority of views coming in to Spike TV is through TNA. That's the main reason people are coming to watch. I mean, I'm pretty sure more people watch TNA than watch Bellator. Um, so, I mean, they bring in like at least 1 million viewers per week. So, and that's the only reason I even watch Spike TV. So, this could be bad for Spike TV, and it also could be bad for TNA because that channel does not span enough of the U.S. for it to work. But I guess TNA is saying they're trying to say we are a smaller company, and you got to get a TV deal however you can get it. So it makes sense, but I just hope I can find the channel because
yeah,
my future may be in doubt.
yeah. I mean, I know I personally have that channel. There's actually a couple of shows that I usually watch on that channel. With my cable provider, it's channel 113, so it's up in the hundreds. So it might be if you have higher channels like that, I would check there. But um, I don't know how I feel about that. Because I feel like Destination America is kind of a weird channel because they have like shows like Monsters and Mysteries in America, which is about like uh like things like Loch Ness monster, things like that, or like Bigfoot, whatever in America. And then they have like barbecue pit wars, and it's just a weird jumble of things. And I don't know how well, um, not even with fans, not every fan having Destination America, but just throwing it into a channel like that, I don't know how it's gonna work out.
I
Um,
hope they get more promotion on that channel though. You know, like Spike TV does not. I don't honestly. I don't think Spike TV has promoted TNA a ton since TNA has been with Spike TV. Like since the beginning, I don't remember seeing a ton of promotion from Spike TV. So
yeah. I don't remember ever seeing a lot of promotion for TNA, even before. I don't remember who they were. I think they had a TV deal before Spike with some other channel. I don't remember what it was, but I don't remember even seeing a lot of promotion with that. So hopefully they would give you more promotion. I think it would still be just on like Discovery channels. I don't think you'll see like promotion if you're watching like NBC or USA or something like that. But it's still going to be generalized. But I think if they do it, it would be a little bit more. You get a chance to see tune in Wednesday night for Impact Wrestling. Um,
it doesn't even have to be long. Like I don't understand that. They're the one bringing in new viewers, and you can't. I mean, put like a 3 second thing. Like I mean, if you blink, you miss it. You know, I mean,
yeah, yeah. So I, I guess we'll see how this works out. I I'm kind of curious how long the TV deal is, because if it's a long TV deal and it doesn't work out, they're kind of screwed. So, but then again, I guess when you are a smaller company, you gotta take what you can get. Um, you know,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the TV deal does the TNA because you never really know. I don't know. I have to look for this channel because
yeah,
uh, but guys, if you stayed this long, thank you, thank you so much. I know this one ran a little bit long just because of discussion and stuff like that, but it's gonna happen. The fun part about reviews is the discussion you have. If I was doing it by myself, I would be talking to myself, and there would be no discussion. So feel this is the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. If you don't know, feel free to follow me on Twitter at beastmode123100. It's down there. Share the video. However you like. You can tape it to your foot like a stamp. You can stamp it to your foot and then kick somebody in the butt, and then there you go. I think that'll work. I think that'll work. Take it away, Casey.
no, that's not gonna work. Um, Before I do my ending bit, I just had an idea. What they need to do is get a TV deal with TNT. Then they'll really be like WCW. They're already trying to be. They're already going for it. Um, like even a TV deal with like TNT or TBS. I think some wrestling company used to have a deal with TBS. It might have been WWE.
It was wasn't it WCW? Because isn't that Turner? Isn't that I can't remember his first name, but isn't that his company?
I know Nitro was on TNT. Thunder might have been on TBS. I don't remember what Thunder was on. But even if they did something like that, that would be more. They would actually have to get a deal with them. Obviously, it's not that easy to just get a TV deal. But if they were able to do that, it would be kind of a more broader, because I think most people get TNT and TBS. They're more of a bigger company, TV company. But anyway, my name's Casey. The Twitter's down there. Hit me up on there. Add me. Had another guy add me on Google Plus with another Arabic name that I can't read. I don't know why. I, I don't understand it. But
International, baby. International.
but yeah, go add me on follow me on Twitter. And we will hopefully we got the Survivor Series video coming up. We got NXT coming up. Man, and we have Ryan coming back soon, sometime. I think, maybe, probably not. But yep, that's all I have to share. Go. Speaking of share, the video. Ha, see what I did there? Share the video. Go do it. Share it with your manager at work. Share it with guy in the subway. Share it with crazy homeless. Well, don't share it with the homeless because they don't have internet. I'm sorry. Was that mean?
Bring them into your house so then they'll have warmth and great videos to watch of us. Yeah.
Yeah, and let them have a shower. Give them something to eat. Be nice. This is a time for giving. I mean, unless you're a mean person, in which case we don't want you watching our videos. We want nice people. Who am I kidding? We want anybody we can get. We don't care.
All right, guys. So, I guess I'll
He's been waiting
see
to
you
do
guys.
this forever.
What was that?
I said you've been waiting to do this so long. Stupid Miz.
So watch the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast.
The only podcast that
Because,
is instantly classic.
indeed. And international.
And yeah, we have fans in Australia and apparently the Middle East.
And also watch it because I'm DJ. And I'm awesome. Share the video, watch the video, subscribe to the channel, do what you do. Love you guys. Peace.